Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know that the background keeps changing and all of that, but I'm just really trying to find the best background to make my videos more visually pleasing. So it's going to take some time. I'm still working on lighting and all of that, but I hope you guys can understand. I can't believe that Singles Inferno season 3 is over. It's usually very short, but with the whole ups and downs that the fans we faced during this last season, I felt like it was going to go on and on, but we finally know who they picked, and season 3 of Singles Inferno has come to an end. I'm happy, please. I was so stressed. First thing that caught my attention was when Gyu-ri and Min-woo were talking, and Gyu-ri was like, oh, Si-eun prefers Gwanhee to Min-woo, and I was like, it was in that moment I realized that this girl is literally just living in her own world. Like, she doesn't even know what's happening. Like, how would she be so sure that Si-eun was like super 100% interested in Gwanhee? I think she said she felt Si-eun was going to pick Gwanhee at the ending, which was ridiculous, because as we started seeing, you know, some other scenes, it was like it dawned on her that Si-eun really liked Min-woo and she was going for him, and she didn't want to leave his side, and that's why she had that conversation with Min-woo that just really sounded bad for her and made her lose points also in viewers' eyes, and she lost points with me because that just really sounded like a manipulative girlfriend, and it was not a very nice moment for her image. And I think that also just made Min-woo to know and to be sure who he was going to pick at the end of the day, and that was Si-eun. Okay, and then we're going to talk about Gwan-hee. Ah, my goodness, like in this particular scene, he still proved like he still wanted confirmation. He still wanted Hyeseon to, you know, make him feel like, oh, he's the only one and that she wasn't going to pick anybody. Because I think his greatest fear, like Hyeseon said later on, his greatest fear was that he would pick someone that wouldn't pick him back, and just because Min-ji was so sure that she was going to pick him, was making him lean towards Min-ji, and because he wasn't sure who Hyeseon was going to pick, he was really leaning towards Min-ji. And I just feel like that's, I don't want to say anything bad about Gwan-hee in this review, I really don't, so I'm not going to, but I just felt like that wasn't cool. But I feel like he redeemed himself at the end of this episode, so I officially don't hate the Gwan-hee anymore. I never hated him, but I hated his character. But I think right now I'm like 50% okay with him. To be honest, I'm so happy that the editors didn't cut out the parts where she was like, that Hyeseon was like, he's kind of empathetic. I'm like, yes, because he's like a big man baby, the way he's always looking for assurance and all of that. I'm like, that was the right thing to say, but I don't think she meant it in a malicious way. It's just how he is. And then in that moment when they were eating breakfast and, you know, they were talking, and he was talking about how he wanted to take a picture with her, and it was in that moment again for me that just made it so clear that Gwan-hee was in love. Maybe not in love, but like she was his number one. That Hyeseon was his number one, because there's just something about when he's with her, like there's this, he's just always so genuine and willing to express himself more, unlike when he's with the other girls, when he's always just beating around the bush. Why? Because he never wanted to give them like the 100% assurance that he was going to pick them. But with Hyeseon, like he was just, I feel like he was more of himself, more of his lovable self, and it was just ridiculous questions that he likes to ask. But I feel like he was more of himself in that's when he's with Hyeseon, and that moment was just so wholesome. And I feel like he's the kind of person that you can't just hate. He's not perfect, but I just never, as in, it's just hard to just like write him off and be like, oh, I hate Gwan-hee. Like, it's just impossible, because he has some sincere parts to him. And I feel like in that moment, that was when Hyeseon also felt like she had gotten through to him with her feelings, but I guess we were wrong from what we saw in the next scene. Okay, let's talk about Ha-jeong before we get to that scene. I feel so bad for Ha-jeong, but I feel like she's a champ. I feel like she should win the best person award in this show. Like, she had so much character development, and she's that girl because she accepted that the Gwan-hee wasn't going to come back to her, even if in the last moment she was still hoping that he would circle back to her. But she was a fair competitor. Like, she wasn't manipulative, she was not cringe. You guys know who I'm talking about. Like, she was mature about it. She knows that she lost fair and square. She knows the Gwan-hee didn't like her anymore, and she was a champ about it. Like, I feel like we should give her a crown. Like, her crown should stay, because Ha-jeong was just, she became my favorite character after Hyeseon. I just now love her so much, and I wish her all the best. I hope she can find a guy that would treat her like the queen that she is. Okay, and then we're going to talk about Min-young and Jin-seok. I like to call them my parents. And to me, it's like, oh, I'm no longer a child of divorced parents. My parents are together and all of that. Those two are so cute. They are so cute, you guys. Like, there's just something about their relationship. I feel like Jin-seok always liked Min-young, but like we all saw in the earlier episodes, he wasn't happy about the way she acted, kind of like didn't want to be associated with him. And then she realized, and then she I think she did well enough to get him back, to make him know that she likes him and all of that. When her feelings were kind of more clear to her, she expressed them to him. And in this in the scene where they were talking and she was crying, and when he cleaned her tears, when she held his hand, when he was teasing her, I just feel like they were meant to be. Like, it's weird, and I feel like it's not scripted. The fact that they chose each other on the first day, it just kind of felt like Endgame for me. Even if there were some ups, there were some downs in between to the final episode, I just feel like they were meant to be there. I feel like their personalities, their ages, their maturity and all of that just really aligned. I just feel like they were meant to be together. But that scene, the scene with both of them, was just so wholesome. I was just giggling, and it was just so cute. It was just so cute. I could just picture them like really being official and, you know, being boyfriend and girlfriend. And I really hope that they stay together even after the show. Maybe not, but we can only hope, right? And then we're going to talk about Gwan-hee and Min-ji. In this scene right here, where he came to talk to her and he was now showing him his true color again about, you know, he felt upset with her for not picking Jin-seok and all of that. I felt bad for Min-ji in that moment, but like, come on girl, like, she cries. Okay, hold up, I'm not going to say that. I feel like that is her character. Some people just cannot take, I don't know the words to use, but I feel like she's just very soft. She gets emotional very easily, and I know she gets angry at herself for crying. Like, she doesn't want to cry, but when people say things that hurt her, it makes her cry. I mean, she was right. She wrote him the letter. She has made it clear that she likes him, but just because she didn't pick who you wanted her to pick, you now started doubting what she feels for you. I feel like which he has proven himself to me at the end of the day, but I feel like still in this moment, I was just like, this guy has trust issues. I feel like he really has trust issues. Like, he just always wants you to give him the confidence that, you know, you're picking him 100%, and any little thing that just makes him think otherwise, he's already doubting your feelings for him. That is not something that I would like in a guy. I just feel like it's going to cause a lot of issues. But like I said, Gwan-hee redeemed himself, and I go back to what I said, that when he's with other girls, he's never like 100% with them. He never like opens up 100%. He's always just beating around the bush. And to be honest, I knew Min-ji was an Endgame. Even if he picked her, it was probably because he thought his son wasn't going to pick him. But I just knew that she wasn't Endgame. But in this particular scene, he really showed his red flagness again, and I felt bad for Min-ji. But it is what it is. We're going to talk about Min-kyu and Gyu-ri. Oh man, I think my opinion about Gyu-ri, I wasn't really her fan. I've never really been her fan from day one. I don't know, just something about her that I didn't really admire. But for Min-kyu, I feel like I didn't really notice him until when he gave Minji his shirt to clean her eyes, then I now started noticing him, and I feel like he's like my second favorite male contestant or person on the island, because he's just so genuine and he really expressed himself that, you know, it was her from the beginning and all of that, and I really respected him for that. And I think that also helped Gyu-ri feel like she should give him a chance at the end of the day. But yeah, I wish him well, even if they're not together out of the show. I really do wish Min-kyu well. He's like the kind of, he's like a green forest, literally. He's the person that you want to date. Let's also talk about the scene where everyone is also like talking about, where Hyeseon gave the Gwan-hee the lowdown. I wish I could hug her. I wish I could kiss her. I mean, you could even see the commentators were like, yes, she did the right thing, because the Gwan-hee, like, he's almost a little bit manipulative with the way he speaks, like, you know, going around the bush just to make you almost feel bad and basically gaslighting you. That's just annoying. But she just came out and said it, like, pick her, pick Minji if you want to pick her, don't pick me and you're not sure and all of that. Like, that was just a boss girl move, and I wish I could hug her son in that moment. But you could also see the hurt in her eyes. You know, when he made the statements, you could see her pausing, and to me, in that moment when she paused, it was like, when she was weighing her options, she was like, okay, she likes this guy, but he keeps going back and forth. If she should say what she said in that moment, there's a very high chance that he's not going to pick her anymore, seeing the kind of person that he is, that when he feels like, oh, you're doubting your relationship with him, he's going to withdraw and move to another person. I feel like she weighed her option, but at the end of the day, she realized that she doesn't have to deal with that. It's not by force to leave the show with anybody. She can leave the show on her own and find someone better. But you know, she just decided to like say her mind, and it was the right thing to do, because he cannot just keep, you know, gaslighting her into saying what he wants to hear. That moment was one of my best moments on the show, and like, I love Hyeseon. She's still my number one. She's always going to be my number one. Just quickly talk about Si-eun's reaction to Min-woo's age. I just realized that they never actually went to paradise together. Wow, that's wild. Given how they were able to grow their connection while they were in Inferno. I feel like it doesn't really matter about age. Like, I love that the show did that they couldn't reveal their personal information if you've not gone to paradise with the person. I loved it a lot. But her reaction was cute. I don't really find Si-eun cute, but in that moment her reaction was cute, and of course she wasn't going to let that affect her. She was like, oh, he's mature, the way he thinks, the way he talks, the way he acts, and I didn't see that maturity. But at the end of the day, she just had to say that, and he said he loves older women. Older women are cool. I'm happy for them. I don't really care much about them, but I'm happy for them. I'm happy they're together. And then we're going to talk about the scene where my love, his son, was crying. She's so cute. She's so cute, you guys. She's so freaking cute. When she cried, I cried with her along with the Gwan-hee, because there's just something so pure about her. I feel like she's a girl's girl and she's also a boy's girl. Like, she's a friend, and she's the kind of person that you want to have a good relationship with her, because she's just so sincere with everything that she does. And when the Gwan-hee started crying, I think it was in that moment he realized that, oh, that he might have lost this girl and that he's going to regret it. I think it was also in that moment where he made up his mind that, well, if this lady can make me cry, like, I'm crying because she's crying, and then like she just has to be the one. And if you guys think about it, I think it's also in that moment where he realized how much it hurt her, because from day one, minus the rubbish advice that they were giving him about Monica and all of that, I feel like from day one, it was always him for her. She didn't want to be with him from day one to the end. She wanted him to go around and decide to be with her, and that was a smart move. But yes, he really hurt her in a lot of ways, and I feel like in that moment she was just tired emotionally and she just had to let it out, and then he was crying with her. That was just a very wholesome and touching moment. I don't think, that's why I also say now that Gwan-hee is not a bad person. I feel like, if you ask me, he was the most honest with his emotions. He was really the most honest, because he really showed how unsure he can be, how much confirmation he needs from his partner to feel like, okay, that they're in a good place in their relationship. I feel like he really showed his true self, and I appreciated how honest he became after all the ups and downs. And you guys, we have to agree, if Gwan-hee was not on this show, would we be talking about it like this? I don't think so. Like, he brought a lot of emotions out during the show, so I gave him accolades for that. And then they went into the room to talk again, and then he was still crying, and in that moment, everything he told her in the room, they were all sincere. I feel like he poured his heart out to her, and that also touched Hyeseon. And like she said, if she didn't shout and get angry at him in that other moment, he probably wouldn't have realized that he was going to lose her, and he was really scared. And he also really appreciated her. He hated how he treated her, and like, we are all saying, Hyeseon had always been his number one, and I'm glad that he found it necessary to talk to her and, you know, be sincere with her in that moment. I really appreciated that part of him, and I saw how mature he was, even if throughout he had been acting like a big baby. But I forgive Gwan-hee, guys. Let's forgive him, okay? He showed his real emotions, and at the end of the day, he went back to the queen. So I'm good, I'm fine, okay? And before we talk about the last scene where they picked their partners, the helicopter scene when Min-ji was like acting like Min-ji. This was my reaction when I watched that scene. I was just tired. I was like, girl, come on. Like, and you can't tell me that Ha-jeong didn't know what was happening with her mirror. Like, you can't tell me she didn't know what was happening. I was just like, you don't do that. You don't. And at this point, for her to do that again, even when they're with their respective dates, that just says a lot about her personality. Okay, so for who they picked, you guys, you could just see the relief on Gwan-hee's face when his son got up. I feel like she was contemplating whether she should stand up or not, because at the end of the day, this is a show that you're probably never ever going to be on again. So she didn't want to regret anything. Fine, she still had him in she still had him in her heart. So she didn't want to have any regrets, and that was why she stood up, like, pick me, fine, pick me, okay, like, I'll just stay true to what I'm feeling. And gosh, the relief on his face, even Ha-jeong had to laugh and chuckle, because it was like, yeah, we know who you're going to pick. But Min-ji was still so sure. She was the first to stand up, and I mean, he gave her some kind of, he made her feel like he was going to pick her. That is Min-ji. But at the end of the day, he picked Miss Hyeseon. You guys, I was so happy. I think they're a good match. I think they would work. I think they would grow in their relationship. That's if they're still together. But Min-ji was shocked. I'm like, girl, are you shocked? I mean, if Hyeseon didn't stand up, you guys, do you think Gwan-hee would have left Inferno alone? Let me know in the comment section. That thought just came to me now, and I'm like, he might have left the show without picking anybody, or he might have picked Min-ji. I doubt it. But well, yes, that is it. Min-young chose Jin-seok chose her back. Gyu-ri chose Min-kyu chose her back. Min-woo chose Si-eun chose him back, and Gwan-hee chose Hyeseon, and Hyeseon chose him back. You guys, it has ended. I'm happy with the results. It was really hard to predict, but I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the way everything went. We've had a roller coaster, but it's over now, and right now I'm focusing on Transit Love season 3, because that is another show that I love. Is this season 3 or season 2? I really love that show, and I may or may not make videos about it, but we'll see. Okay guys, that is the end of this video. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Okay, so bye guys, till next time. I don't know when that'll be, but till next time.